you guys need to save your money and listen to what I'm about to tell you, because as an incoming freshman, do not overdo it, okay? Hear me out. Alright, for starters, I want to just talk about the supplies you actually need as a college student. You definitely do not want to go buy all this stuff because it's not exaggerated like in high school. Half the things you get on your little supply list, you don't even use in school. So don't be that person. For starters, I personally do not like binders, and in college you really rarely see people use binders. What you're going to see is a lot of people using spiral notebooks. So what I like to do is get either the 1 subject or 3 subject notebook. And again, the reason I say that is because you don't want to buy binders. One, they're expensive, and as an incoming freshman, a lot of your classes are going to be prerequisite classes. So after you take that class, you're not going to take the class again. Like, you don't need to be investing that much into that one class for a binder. You know what I mean? Like, that's just unrealistic. Don't do it. Save your money. So what I like to do is use spiral notebooks. Like I said, usually I'll get a 1 subject notebook, and sometimes they'll have like a little folder pocket in it, and then I get a smaller one just for my notes alone, and then that's what I will use for 1 class. And then I always like to pair it with a folder, so in any important documents or syllabus or graded work or any of that, I always like to keep that for that 1 class too. Usually I will keep everything color coded, but this isn't color coded. But for the sake of this video, this is what I use for 1 class. It'll be the subject notebook, a little smaller spiral notebook, and then a folder. Very helpful, very affordable, very cheap, okay? And then the next thing you guys definitely want to have is just a lot of loose leaf paper. Not for a binder per se, but whenever I had my loose leaf paper, I would use it for rough drafts that I would write, or just writing little notes or any, you know, classwork assignments and stuff like that. I would just use my loose leaf paper because I don't really like to rip it out of my spiral notebook. And aside from this, you guys need packs of copy paper. Not this, but copy paper. And I would suggest getting 3 packs because in college you're gonna need to be printing out a lot of things. Like papers are not just 1 page anymore. They're like 10-page papers. You're gonna be printing out left and right, so you definitely want to stock up on printer paper. I cannot stress that enough, because sometimes your professor will not pass out a syllabus in class. They'll tell you to go online and print it out yourself. So you definitely want to do that, and I always suggest printing out a hard copy of your syllabus. Next, you're going to want a pocket expanding file. I have this little cute one here. I keep all my important documents on here. This is so essential. Like, sometimes people make mistakes, you know, and that's why you always want to keep everything that you get in writing and have it stored in here. As a college student, you're definitely going to need this throughout your college career, so make sure you really invest in getting one of these. Next, you're going to want a lot of index cards as flashcards, study tool, and then of course you're going to want highlighters, because I don't know about you guys, but I love to color code whenever I study. So I always have a bunch of different color highlighters. Of course, your pens, your pencils, a pencil pouch, and a backpack. Those are all things that you need. One other thing that I forgot to mention that you guys should definitely get is a pack of envelopes. My family members would always send me stuff. It's just essential to really have some envelopes on hand. You know, your stapler, your everyday stationery things that you need on your desk. Those are the items that you really need for college. Do not go out here and buy crayons and all that stuff, because honestly, look at your syllabus or just listen to your professor. Whatever they tell you to get, definitely get that. But I'm just saying, these are things you actually need. So don't go out here and buy all this extra stuff, because trust me, like, it's just not worth it. Like, save your money, okay? Okay, the last thing I wanted to tell you guys is how you can save money when it comes to buying your textbooks. Now, I can count on my hand how many textbooks that I flat out paid full price for. I always suggest renting them, and the reason I say that is because a lot of times these textbooks are really just overpriced. And again, as an incoming freshman, you're taking prerequisite classes, so you really don't need to pay that much money for a class that you're not going to take again, you know? So look into these websites called check.com and eCampus. These are two websites that I rented textbooks from, and they give you different time variations that you can rent them for. If your school is on quarter system, they allow you to rent it for a quarter. If your school is on semester system, they let you rent it for a semester system. So just, you know what time frame your school is on, and then go from there. And then the cool thing is, when you're done with that book, all you have to do is print out the little label to send it back at the post office, and then you're good. You're done. You don't have to use it anymore. And the reason I just prefer renting, like I said, you're saving money. And I remember renting one of these books that cost like $15 to rent online, and then in the bookstore it was $85. So a lot of times the bookstores are just flat out robbing college students. But at the same time, if that book is specifically made for your class or from your professor or something, and you know you can't rent it, or it's just not even available to rent, then that's when you should buy the book. But if you have to purchase access codes, those you have to flat out buy. You cannot rent. But just make sure you can just see if you can rent or purchase, and always go for renting because it's just more affordable. And then if you are taking like a foreign language class or something that builds on to like a level 2, I would suggest buying those books, because you know that level 1 could possibly help in that level 2 class. So just kind of gauge it how you want, but for the most part, definitely look into renting your books. And that is pretty much it, you guys. Like, I just wanted to help and give a few tips or pointers. If you guys know any other college hacks or tips and tricks, put it in the comment section down below so everyone can be great. And I will talk to you guys later in another video.